Hey everybody, and thank you for coming to the wedding. You may know my dad, Vince Patrick Fusco. What you might not know is that he is my role model. I do my best to be like him in almost every aspect of my life, except the cycling, of course. I remember our last trip to the family cabin when I was only 8 years old. This was a special trip, not only because we were selling the cabin, but because we had just gotten our first family dog a few weeks prior. Anyways, we got to the cabin, got a room set up, and decided to head out to the dock and check out the water. The lake water was covered in algae, so much so that it looked like grass. We had our dog Cody with us, and he thought the water was grass too, and he jumped right in. Everyone freaked out because he sank like a stone. My dad immediately said, and I quote, "I just spent $300 on that damn dog," and jumped in after him. He came up with Cody, set him on the dock, and took a breather. My mom said, "You jumped in to get him for $300? And he said yes. But I knew he was lying. He knew how much that dog meant to us, to me. That's why he jumped in to get him. And that brings me to my point. That's just one event that made me look up to my dad. There are so many others, so much he's done for our family, all the things he taught us. It was hard to narrow it down, but I did. I picked the two main reasons why I look up to my dad. He taught me pride, and he taught me well-temperedness. That first trait, pride, I learned very early on. Most of you here know about my dad cycling. He's obsessed. I remember I'd ride the bus to school, and sometimes instead of picking me up in his car like a normal dad, he'd bike to the bus stop with both of our bikes, riding one hand on his and one hand on mine, and I'd bike home with him. One of those times, I got off the bus with a friend of mine, and we saw my dad in his cycling outfit biking my bike towards me. My friend Jake said, "Is that really your dad? What a freak." I was very embarrassed. By the time I got home with my dad, I was angry. I yelled at him. I said, "Stop it with this weird bike stuff. Pick me up in your car like a normal dad. You're embarrassing me." He sat me down and explained to me that I shouldn't be embarrassed of him because that's who he is. He's a bike freak. He dresses up in those silly tights and goes on 60-mile bike rides. And that's when I learned to be proud of myself. Who cares if my dad's a cyclist? He loves doing it. The way he explained that to me brings me to my next point, the well-temperedness. There wasn't a specific event that taught me this. It was a change in my dad, a gradual change that he worked on until he got there. He used to be an angrier guy. Things wouldn't go his way, and he would get angry. There was a lot of stress on him in those days. He had gotten laid off from his job. He was struggling to make ends meet. I don't blame him for being angry, but anyways, he worked on it. He went to therapy. He worked on it with us. I remember he used to yell when someone didn't fold their clothes. I saw a change in him when I was 16. I had snuck out of the house to go to a party, and I came home at 2 in the morning to find my dad waiting in the living room. I walked in assuming I was going to get screamed at. But he gently sat me down, and he asked me why I didn't tell him I left. He wasn't angry, he was just concerned. He said, "Why are you so afraid to tell me these things?" And I told him it was because I didn't want to get yelled at. But he told me that sometimes he yells and he was sorry, that he had been working on it because he knew the effect that it had on us. And since then, he's only gotten better. And thanks to his beautiful new bride, Shelly, he's improved even more. To Shelly and Vince, I hope you have a wonderful life.